It's a best of 5, because it is the finals. In the top left, we do have Psystorm's MaxPax. And in the bottom right, it is Twisted Minds' Shameless, who just took down Byun in a super, super exciting 2-1. Highly advise you to go watch that. Shameless looked really good in that matchup. Just as clean as Showtime or Trap or a MaxPax, actually. Who he is now facing, his reward for beating a former world champion is to face probably the best PvPer in the world. I think certainly the best online PvPer. And one of the best Protosses in the world in general. So, you know, it is what it is when it comes to these Monday night Open Cups. This one is the KRS Rotterdam Steadfast Open Cup, a placeholder until hopefully we get more ESL Open Cups, but we'll find out about that eventually. But this is MaxPax's stomping ground. Monday nights, much like here Marine used to always win, MaxPax has started to, when Clem doesn't show up. And even when Clem shows up, it's a back and forth between them a lot of the time. So this just kind of feels right to have MaxPax in the finals. If it had been beyond the finals, it would have felt very similar to a North American Open Cup. But Byun lost to Shameless in a surprise. And then some of the other standard players of these Open Cups just weren't here today. So Shameless, you could argue he had an easier run. Maybe his round of 8 opponent was easier in Mixu as compared to like a Showtime maybe. But no one's going to say that beating Byun's easy. So he's already kicking butt in my eyes. I'm already really excited about how much more he can improve. But now, an even bigger test as to try and defeat MaxPax in a PvP. The good news is both players are back onto their home server, so micro and ping and all that's not a big deal. But the bad news is you are facing MaxPax in a Protoss versus Protoss. He's very good at it, and even if you try to match him in everything that he does, which is currently Shameless's plan, he usually does it just a little bit better. And particularly when it comes to Phoenix versus Phoenix, which this might just be coming into. One player seems to be able to defeat MaxPax on a regular basis, maybe a 50-50 scenario when it comes to Phoenix versus Phoenix, and that is Showtime. But even then, I expect it actually is more like MaxPax wins 70% of the time versus Showtime. So, is Shameless better than Showtime at this? We'll find out. I would say it actually is possible. If someone came in here and was like, actually, Shameless has a really good win record against MaxPax on the ladder, I'd be like, oh, okay. I think it could happen. But it is usually a little bit different for these online tournaments and the finals of it at that. We already got a little bit of a micro battle going down here. Both of them with the exact same number of units. But one player does get that defender's advantage. There's the lift on the Adept to allow Shameless's Zealot to try and win out against the other Zealots. And the Adept will die because the second Phoenix popped. Okay. Or wait. No, it didn't. It didn't. It shaded. It was... And it didn't die. Or it did die. Something died. I blinked and I missed it. Regardless, Adept is back on the front lines. Zealot still in tow. Shameless still going to win this ground battle because of the air battle, but he loses 2 probes after already falling behind by 2 or 3. So now he's behind by 4. So... yeah. That's pretty devastating when you're doing the exact same thing as your opponent. Exactly. Second Stargate on the way for both players. Double Phoenix being pumped out. That's where all their money's going to go into. Well, some of the minerals might go into pylons, but that's where all their resources are going to, effectively. But one person has 4 probes less of resources, which is going to add up a lot. In fact, I think it already has added up. There is a 1 Phoenix advantage for MaxPax. Make that like a half a Phoenix, but still. And we know when it comes to Phoenix versus Phoenix, it's just 1 battle generally, and then it's done. And MaxPax generally is the better Phoenix battler because he almost always has the flower. He almost always has the Phoenix clumped up, and when they're clumped up, it guarantees that every single one of them will shoot. If they're not clumped up, there's one Phoenix in the back that's like, hey guys, what's happening? And it doesn't shoot. So that's why it's so important. If both players are bulked up, then I don't know. and that's part of the reason that you would is that they wouldn't be able to tell if they're winning or not until they just take the fight. In this case, MaxPax is totally right. He was winning by one Phoenix. And that one extra Phoenix really made this look like a one-sided battle. GG. But to mere humans, usually you'd see those bulked up Phoenix and you'd be like, I have no idea how many Phoenix that is. And you wouldn't engage. Like, you'd just be stalemating because you can't tell if you are going to win. But MaxPax, he could either tell exactly or he just knew because he had taken the advantage earlier on. Which is fair, but I still want to say that was a really powerful move. I think so many of the Protosses would have been like, if I have an advantage, I'll have my advantage. Like, I'm not going to force the issue. And MaxPax was just like, no, all right, I'll win. Let's go. Riveting gameplay. I know. I tried my best not to be sarcastic about that Phoenix versus Phoenix battle. But if we do have another Phoenix versus Phoenix game, I will absolutely roll my eyes. In the top left, up one, it is MaxPax. And in the top right of Ghost River, it is Shameless. Good luck beating MaxPax at his own game. And good luck beating MaxPax at a entirely different game. I didn't even know that was a tag. Little juice box. Little apple juice. There is a player named Apple Juice. He better have that tag. He better use it all the time. So I wish I could have something insightful to say for what Shameless should do, but I really don't. Shameless should... Nope, no, I really don't have anything. Should accept the unlikeliness of him winning and then just go crazy. No, you probably should never do that. At the very least, you're going to take this as a real opportunity to practice against the world's perhaps best PvPer. And then be that much stronger against all the other Protoss plebs that you face. Usually, if people can't beat MaxPax at his own game, if they try to 1-gate expand and then it's Phoenix versus Phoenix, or maybe just Phoenix... Well, no, it's usually Phoenix versus Phoenix. But if it's anything along those lines, like, MaxPax still generally wins. Even when someone seems to get ahead on the natural, for instance, by blocking out his Nexus faster, he still manages to make up for it with the Stargate timing, Stargate usage, third base timing, proper defense, etc., etc. So, most of the time, after trying one or twice, like, I'll try and match you. The non-MaxPax Protoss player just goes, okay, never mind. I'm just going to all in all the time. And, it does sometimes work. MaxPax has not always made it to the finals of an Open Cup because he has been tripped up by like a Showtime sometimes. Skillis recently broke a 17 series loss streak against the guy. That can happen to him. It is very, very difficult to do. And a best of 5 kind of ensures that even if he messes up once or twice, he still generally wins overall the PvP. Right now, Shameless trying to get a proxy pylon up, and it is real. It's not a fake, like, oh, you're wasting time with your zealot. That's nothing. It means to actually have a proxy location, perhaps even that gateway. He had a 3rd gateway building back at home. They expect this to be a 4 gateway, and that's exactly what it is. And he will get it up and running, but even a canceled pylon and the canceled pylon's money is something, okay, sure, but more so it's the fact that it's an extra 20 seconds wait for this pylon, which is almost dead. And then that's an extra 20 seconds on the gateway, an extra 20 seconds on the defense, you know, so on and so forth. That pylon is dead, and while it's no longer going to be powering the robo or the gateway, unfortunately, Protoss buildings build regardless of pylon energy. It's still 100 minerals that you're going to need to plant down again, because you will need that supply, and you don't want to leave an Artosis pylon, arguably. Unlikely MaxPax will get another attempt to kill that pylon, but still. Oracle did a flyby once by looks of things and nearly died, and actually he's going to try and go back again. I was going to say, that's not going to work. Just goes for the relation instead. MaxPax pretty practiced when it comes to the defense here. It is a full-on 4 gates, but it is a little delayed, so even though the speed of the 4 gate is really good, this was a little delayed. That's a lot of stalkers. 11 stalkers for Shameless, 2 of which are back at home. Never forget that. He's getting closer to the one shot of the Void Ray. No overcharge popped unnecessarily as of yet. Prismatic alignment, kind of something that you have to do if you think there's a chance that they'll really take the engagement, so... We're keeping track of those things, because really I'm keeping track of whether or not Shameless can ever get a one-shot going. So with 11 stalkers, make it 12 stalkers, I don't think that he can. But if he can get the Void Ray, he could maybe push to a win. One Void Ray gets killed immediately, accidentally moves too far ahead. The second Void Ray gets shot down, probably 2 or 3 shot with an overcharge. Of course, this all is dependent on all of the stalkers of Shameless actually shooting at once, which is easier said than done. So far, keeping his stalker count alive, but MaxPax also keeping his Void Ray count alive. He's going up to his 4th here. He's not going to bother with a Robo, unlike some of the other games we saw. Just adding on little bits of gateway whenever he can. Stasis Trap is going to really make him feel quite safe. It's very difficult for Shameless to pop that without... Even one stalker popping that is actually considerable, I would say. You usually want a probe or a zealot or a depth to pop it. It's not like he doesn't know it's there. Unfortunately, I think the time has come and gone. I was a little scared for MaxPax when it was a big ball of stalkers against just 2 Void Rays. But now against 4, to kill all of them in any decent amount of time is just impossible. Not with shield batteries on them, anyway. And even without shield batteries, if they had prismatic alignment, you wouldn't take the fight. Without shield batteries, without prismatic alignment, then maybe the stalkers would win, sure, but that's not the case here. So I think we're watching a pretty much done deal, just waiting for Shameless to accept it. No, I think he forgot about the stasis trap or didn't care. I don't know, but GG. This is MaxPax, not MinPax. PvP, man. I'm happy to report that I have officially abandoned Adobe software. Just thinking of editing this finals when it's done. But I've officially abandoned Adobe software. It's no longer taking $30 a month from me and threatening me with weird contracts. Highly advise getting off of Adobe products. Unless, of course, you need it for your work. In that case, Ripperino. But finally figured out DaVinci Resolve. It's nice. All right, got a 2-0 lead here for this guy on the top side of Amphion. It is MaxPax. And on the bottom side, we do have Shameless. It's cute. And because I'm now officially old TM, I can say that it just makes me think of him as even younger than he is. This is an 18-year-old, but seeing him plant down an apple juice carton just makes me think of him as like a 10-year-old, you know? And for all intents and purposes, to me, 10, 18, like, basically, yeah. This could be taken very out of context. That was not great, but still. I'm just saying that he's very young, and having reached the finals, even though he might get demolished by MaxPax here, it kind of looks like it's going to happen. Very, very promising start. I'm looking forward to getting that age where I can officially say that like almost every StarCraft player is like, or every new StarCraft player, sorry, is half my age. That's cool. It's good. Anyway, so we got another gateway on the low ground from MaxPax. What a surprise on a map that has a natural ramp. In the main base of Shameless, though, he is grabbing 2 gateways, and he will most likely be cheesing in some way or form. You can try and expand off of 2 gateways against MaxPax's 1. The problem is that you'd really have to convince him that you're not expanding. Because as soon as he realizes that is your plan, and it's kind of easy to scout. Like, if you're going to actually expand off of 2 gateways, it's got to come down at a certain point, right? So the probe can kind of like stay around or kind of duck back in and actually see that it's an expansion. He's just going to go like, oh, great, I was building probes anyway. Now I know I'm not going to be attacked. So you'd have to convince him you're not expanding and then expands to really get the benefit there. And that's just not really done. That's not something you can really do easily. So Twilight Council is coming down. It's going to be the Blink Stalker attack. So the 2 power spikes are going to be the Stalker numbers one-shotting a Void Ray, and then Blink actually being done. And I have not seen this work against MaxPax in a few months at this point, I think. But there's always a chance. But it could work for us. Depth is going to be able to escape, and is just going to keep an eye on whether or not that expansion ever does come down, as well as, I think just generally, like if it could get in there and see that it was a 3rd gateway blocking, I guess that would look exactly like a 4 gate, so it would be more like if you could get a scout in the Twilight Council, which is not possible anymore, then that would have been nice. I think you basically figure out which form of 1 base aggression this is when you start to tally how many Stalkers there are in each like subsequent attack. So, you know, 4 Stalkers really just screams like he's really going to attack me. But, you know, there's also the Adept Scouting the lack of Nexus, just in case. But then you're like, okay, well, where's the reinforcements? You know, is he 3-gating easily, quickly? Is he 4-gating really quickly? Is he getting a proxy somewhere? Like, what is he really waiting for? Because that wasn't the whole shebang. And the next wave is only so many Stalkers, and then I'm guessing MaxPax can kind of figure out from there. And what you really want to be careful of if it ends up being the Blink Stalker version, right, is when Blink finishes. So you don't want to chase like you just did when Blink is done, obviously. But you can keep your units in the main if you're afraid of them jumping into the main too, or in this case, over the minerals. The problem with that is that this is really not a main accessible map. So you're kind of still attacking into a similar point if you jump over the minerals here. Yeah, you could go up the ramp, but it's really awkward. And you don't have Blink to then take the engagement. It's a real risky maneuver. And I gotta say, Blink does not look that useful on a map that does have a ramp. You know, it's more useful than just running your units up the ramp, but it's still... So, like, where do they even blink? Like, how does that become even useful? It's useful as far as the reflexive blinking. One unit gets low, you pull it back. Okay, yeah, that still works. But you can't jump on top of anything if the structures are here. Especially if there's a ramp leading to structure at SimCity. Like, where do you blink to try and target fire this one Void Ray? Over here? I don't think all your Stalkers would blink at that point. Do you blink over the mineral lines? Yeah. But like I'm saying, then you don't have Blink to take the engagement. And even if you do manage to skirt your way up to the main base, MaxPax has at least some defense up there as well. A probe pool could always benefit him as well. Force field to force the blink so that the Void Rays have a bit of a better chance taking the engagement. But that was a moment. Robo is going to... No, that was a gateway. Gateway is canceled. Robo did... down in the natural is going to produce an immortal, which means 4 Void Rays and an Immortal, that probably wins the fight. Prismatic Alignment is going to be necessary as Shameless Force takes some of a battle, just in his attempt to retreat. But it was some type of battle. Not a particularly good one. GG. MaxPax will 3-0 Shameless in the finals and continue proving his dominance in PvP. Yes, that was an Arrested Development reference. Hope you guys enjoyed the finals. You know, if you did, great. But if you did it and you're like, what the hell, man, definitely go back and look at Beyond versus Shameless. That was actually the finals of this Open Cup. It was absolutely sick. So go do that, and we'll see next week if anyone can actually take down MaxPax in PvP.